Welcome to Brainish English Stories.
In the room where this warm fire was burning, he saw a girl sitting on a willow chair. She was working hard by the light of the wood fire. She had a billhook in one hand and a big leather glove on the other hand. She was making spars, which thatchers use, very quickly. She wore a leather apron that was also too big for her. On her left side, there was a bundle of straight, smooth sticks called spar gads, which she was using to make the spars. On her right side, there was a pile of chips and pieces of wood, which she used to keep the fire burning. In front of her was a pile of the finished spars. To make them, she took each stick, looked at it carefully from one end to the other, cut it to the right length, split it into 4 pieces, and sharpened each piece to a point like a triangle. Next to her, in case she needed more light, there was a brass candlestick on a small round table. The table was made from an old coffin stool with a wooden top nailed on. The white top looked strange with the black carved oak of the stool. This stool showed the social status of the household in the past, much like an old helmet or shield showed the status of a nobleman. It was common for rich villagers to have a pair of these stools for their own dead family members. But in the last generation or two, people stopped this custom, and the stools were used in other ways, like this. The young woman put down the billhook for a moment and looked at the palm of her right hand, which was not wearing a glove. The palm was red and had blisters, showing that she was not used to this work. Her right hand looked like many hands that do hard work, showing no signs of being gentle or rough. Only fate had decided that the girl should do this work. The fingers that held the heavy tool could have been used to hold a pencil or play a musical instrument if she had learned to do that instead. Her face showed a lot of expression, which happens when someone lives alone. When many people look at a face, it loses its unique features, but in a quiet life, every feeling and thought shows clearly, like a child's look to a stranger. She was no more than 19 or 20 years old, but having to think and worry at a young age had made her face look older. She was not very beautiful, except for her hair. Her hair was very thick and hard to manage. It looked brown in the firelight, but in daylight, it was a beautiful chestnut color. On this one bright gift of time to the girl, the new visitor's eyes were fixed. Meanwhile, the fingers of his right hand were playing with something in his waistcoat pocket, a pair of scissors, which slightly reflected the light. In his mind, the scene of the young girl making spars became like a detailed painting, with the girl's hair being the main focus, and her face, shoulders, hands, and body being blurry and less important. He hesitated no longer and knocked on the door before entering. The young woman turned at the sound of his boots on the sandy floor and exclaimed, "Oh, Mr. Percombe, you scared me." She turned pale for a moment. He replied, "You should shut your door. Then you would hear people open it." "I can't," she said. "The chimney smokes if I do." "Mr. Percombe, you look so out of place here, like a canary in a thorn bush. Surely you have not come here because of me." "Yes, to get your answer about this." He touched her head with his cane, and she flinched. "Do you agree?" he continued. "I need to know now because the lady is going away soon, and it takes time to prepare. Don't push me. It stresses me out. I hoped you had forgotten about it. I can't give it up, so there. Now listen, Marty, said the barber, sitting down on the small round table. How much do you get for making these spars? Quiet, father's upstairs awake, and he doesn't know I am doing his work. Well, now tell me, said the man, more softly. How much do you get? 18 pence for 1,000, she said unwillingly. Who are you making them for? Mr. Melbury, the timber dealer, just down the road. And how many can you make in a day? In a day and half the night, I can make 3 bundles. That's 1,500. 2 and 3 pence. The barber paused. Well, look here, he continued, with a calculating tone. Here's a gold sovereign, almost new. He held it out between his finger and thumb. That's as much as you'd earn in a week and a half at that hard work, and it's yours for just letting me cut off some of your hair. The girl's chest moved a little. Why can't the lady ask another girl who doesn't care about her hair? Not me, she said. Why, simpleton, because your hair is the exact color of hers, and it's a color you can't get by dyeing. But you're not going to refuse me now I've come all the way from Shirton just for this. I say I won't sell it to you or anybody. Now listen, and he moved closer to her. The lady is very rich and won't care about a few extra shillings. So I will make it 2 sovereigns rather than go back empty-handed. No, 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 she cried, getting very upset. You're tempting me, Mr. Percombe. You sound like the devil to Dr. Faustus in the penny book. But I don't want your money and won't agree. Why did you come? I said when you got me into your shop and pushed me so much that I didn't mean to sell my hair. She was angry and firm. Marty, now listen. The lady that wants it really needs it. And, between you and me, you should let her have it. It will be bad for you if you don't. Bad for me? Who is she then? The barber didn't answer, and the girl asked the question again. I can't tell you. And since she is going abroad soon, it doesn't matter who she is. She wants it to go abroad with? Percombe nodded. The girl thought for a moment. Barber Percombe, she said, I know who it is. It's the lady at the house, Mrs. Charmond. That's my secret. But if you agree to let me have it, I'll tell you for sure. That's my secret. But if you agree to let me have it, I'll tell you for sure. I won't let you have it unless you tell me the truth. It is Mrs. Charmond. The barber lowered his voice. Well, it is. You sat in front of her in church the other day, and she noticed how exactly your hair matched hers. Ever since then, she has wanted it and decided to get it. Since she won't wear it until she goes abroad, she knows nobody will recognize the change. I am here to get it for her, and then it will be made up. I wouldn't have come all this way for any less important person. Now, remember, it's as much as my job with her is worth if it's known that I told you her name. But honor between us two, Marty, and you won't say anything that would hurt me. I don't want to tell on her, said Marty, calmly. But my hair is my own, and I'm going to keep it. Now, that's not fair, after what I've told you, said the annoyed barber. You see, Marty, as you live in the same parish, and in one of her cottages, and your father is sick and wouldn't want to move out, it would be good to please her. I say that as a friend. But I won't push you to decide tonight. You'll be coming to market tomorrow, I guess, and you can call then. If you think it over, you'll want to bring what I need, I know. I have nothing more to say, she answered. Seeing that it was useless to push her further, the barber said, "As you are a trustworthy young woman, I'll put these sovereigns up here for decoration, so you can see how nice they are. Bring the hair tomorrow or return the sovereigns." He placed them on the frame of a small mirror. "I hope you'll bring it, for your sake and mine." I thought she could have found someone else, but as it's her wish, it must be done if possible. If you cut it yourself, be careful to keep all the strands the same way. He showed her how to do it. "But I won't," she replied, plainly. "I value my looks too much to ruin them." She wants my hair to get another lover with, though if stories are true, she's broken the heart of many noble gentlemen already. "Lord, it's amazing how you guess things, Marty," said the barber. "I've heard from people that there is some foreign gentleman she likes. However, remember what I asked. She's not going to get him through me." Percombe had walked to the door but came back, put his cane on the stool, and looked straight at her. "Marty South," he said slowly, "you have a lover yourself, and that's why you won't sell your hair." She blushed deeply, more than a mild blush that makes someone look pretty. She put the yellow leather glove on one hand, took the hook with the other, and sat down stubbornly to her work without looking at him again. He watched her head for a moment, then went to the door. After one last look back at her, he left. Marty kept working for a few minutes, then suddenly stopped. She got up and went to the back of the room, where she opened a door. Behind it was a staircase so clean that the wood's grain was almost gone. At the top, she quietly approached a bedroom. Without going in, she asked, "Father, do you need anything?" A weak voice inside said no, and added, "I would be fine by tomorrow if it weren't for the tree." The tree again, always the tree. "Oh, Father, don't worry about that. You know it can't hurt you." "Who is talking to you downstairs?" "A man from Shirton. Nothing to worry about," she said softly. "Father," she continued, "can Mrs. Charman make us leave our house if she wants to?" "Make us leave?" "No. Nobody can make us leave until my poor soul leaves my body. It's life-hold, like Ambrose Winterbourne's. But when I die, it will be hers, not until then." His words on this topic had been clear and strong enough so far. But now he started to moan again, "And the tree will do it, that tree will soon kill me." "Nonsense, you know better." "How can it?" She stopped talking and went back downstairs. "Thank heaven," she said to herself, "what belongs to me, I keep."